Hi guys, this is my second video in the series. Um, I never thought that I will be making this video. This is the worst of my nightmares coming true. I have been an iPhone user for the last 5 years. My first iPhone was the iPhone 5 back in 2012, and before that I was on BlackBerry and all kinds of crap. But my iPhone journey started in 2012 with the iPhone 5, and every year I have been upgrading my iPhone except for the iPhone 5s, which I missed. But the iPhone 6, the 6s, and the 7, I have 7 Plus, sorry. So I have got all the latest phones, and I've been able to try them, and I've been hands-on with them, and I've loved them. I mean, for whatever it's worth, I mean, it's really something which you invest your life into. I mean, the iPhone experience and the iOS experience. So I have been using these phones for the last 5 years, and I call myself an Apple fanboy for that reason. And like people, my friends, they actually, I would say, associate me with the brand Apple. But this year, something different happened. This year, I don't know, it's very difficult to believe, it's very difficult to digest that what Apple did with their iPhone lineup, which forced me, in fact, to think about other options. They have launched, as you all know, that they have launched two versions of the phones. In fact, there are three versions, but broadly two versions. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus, and then the iPhone 10 or the iPhone X. So I somehow, right from the beginning, even though I really love the design of the iPhone 10, I had decided that I will not be spending more than $1,000. In fact, here in UAE, it will be costing, the 256 GB will be costing 4,800 dirhams, which is extremely expensive. So that was anyway out. So I was not even thinking about the iPhone 10. And the iPhone 8, when it was launched, and the 8 Plus when it was launched, it was the same design. It was the same 3-year-old design which was launched again with some minor tweaks. So I was not very excited about the product lineup, and I was thinking what will be my next step. I mean, I continued with, anyway, the 7 Plus was running fine, and I was there was no need for me to upgrade my phone. But something very different happened during the GITEX, which happened a couple of weeks back, where I found this guy, which is the Galaxy Note 8. And ever since I've been using it for the last 2 weeks now, and ever since I've been using this, I cannot believe how much I've been blown away in each and every feature of this phone. I mean, there is no words to describe the kind of value and the kind of productivity tools which this product gives over the iPhone. It's extremely difficult for me to say this, having used an iPhone for so long. It's very difficult. It was very difficult for me to move from the iOS experience to the Android experience. The kind of the touch and feel of the iOS is very different. So moving on from iOS to Android was a very difficult process, which took me some time. But once I've got latched onto it, now I don't think it'll be easy for me to go back to iOS. The kind of I would say the kind of customizability which you get with the Android experience, and on top of that you put the Samsung skin on top of the Android, the stock Android, it actually blew me away. I mean, I cannot believe what I was missing for the last so many years. It's not that I have not used Android. I have used Android once or twice at the back also, but the experience was very different at that time. I did not like the feel of the Samsung skin at that time. But with the Note 8, they have actually improved it a lot, and this year has been much better. It's more refined. It's the design of the product itself is it's crazy. It's going to be the best smartphones of one of the best smartphones of 2017. So I just want to give you a quick experience of what I went through when I started using the product and how it was different from the iPhone. So I will take you through maybe 10 or 12 points, which are the key differences and how it helped me in making my decision of moving on from iOS to Android. So guys, we are back again. Now what I would do is I will go through few of the features which I feel, I mean not few, I would say around 8 to 10 features which I feel made me move from the iOS experience to the Android experience, mainly with the Samsung phone, because apart from the customizable features which Android gives you, there's a lot of other things which Samsung adds to it on top of that, which gives a very good smartphone experience. Let me start with the design. We know that the iPhone is in its 4th year of the same design. This actually is the iPhone 7 Plus, which I've been using for almost a year now. It's been a very good phone, there's no doubt about it. This is the matte black version. It's a very good phone with the dual camera. It gives a very good camera experience. The photographs come very well, even in the low light. It's been a very good phone, there's no doubt about it. But the design is the same for the last 3 years. This was launched in 2014 with the iPhone 6, and the same design is going to continue with the iPhone 8 Plus up to 2018. This is the iPhone 8 Plus, actually the new gold color, which I have got for my wife. She's still to use it, but the experience of iPhone was becoming a bit redundant. This is what I feel with this design. I'm not looking at the iPhone 10 because iPhone 10 is not in the same price point as these phones, so I'm not even looking at that. Now when you go to the Note 8, the design of this phone is extremely ergonomical. It fits in your hand perfectly. It's a 6.3-inch display, but it fits in your hand perfectly. It's narrower compared to the iPhone. If you see, it's slightly narrower compared to the iPhone, which makes it much taller. So it gives you a very good grip. The fingerprint, yes, it's a controversial topic. The fingerprint scanner is at the back. It's a personal choice. Some like it, some don't. But Samsung gives you an opportunity to unlock it through other means like face recognition and iris scanning also. But the fingerprint scanning is what I feel is the best. It's very fast. Just place your finger on it and it opens immediately. The design of the phone is extremely, I would say, simple, but very I feel that the experience is very good in terms of holding it in your hand itself. I have put the D brand skin, the dragon skin on the back to give some kind of grip on the side, and it's a very good skin. It looks killer actually, according to me. So overall design wise, I feel that they have done a better job with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. It's all glass. On the back also is glass. It's more lighter compared to the iPhone. The iPhone feels heavy. The 8 Plus in fact feels even more heavy compared to the 7 Plus. So it's actually a very nice design and it feels really good to hold in your hand. Let's go to the second point, which is the whole Android versus iOS experience. I mean, obviously, it's a very personal topic. Some people say that they are hooked on to Android because of the customizability that it offers. And there are some who are hooked on to iOS. I mean, I was hooked on to iOS for the last 5 years, and it's worked for me. The ecosystem which Apple gives with Apple TV, with the iPad, with the Apple Watch, and all the other products that they have, which syncs across devices, it's very difficult to come out of it. The whole point of to compete which one is better, to discuss which one is better, it's not the right way to do it. But what I would say is there are certain key things which Android gives you, which I have found during my experience of using the phone over the last two weeks, which I feel is really takes the cake. One is the themes, in which you can customize your phone completely to look different. So you can have 2 or 3 Note 8s kept together, and it will be completely different in their looks. I am currently having this dark mode, which is called the material black, skin, and it looks really good. If you look, it actually gives you a very nice design with full black, and the whites look really good with the fluorescent color here. The customization of the themes as well as the icons, it's really nice. It gives you a very different kind of a look. Second thing which I would talk about is the file browser. Now, in iPhone, you cannot actually browse files or store files and upload it to sites or download from sites on the stock version unless you jailbreak it. So that is a very nice and neat feature, using which you can browse files, and you can even download files directly to your phone. It's like a PC or a Mac. So that experience is very good. Even transferring of music, transferring of videos, transferring of photographs from and to the phone is very easy. It's just drag and drop, which the iPhone does not give you. The iOS does not give you, in fact. You can download torrents. I mean, even though I would not recommend it, but you have a uTorrent app on the Play Store, using which you can download movies and games and all that onto your Android device, which is not available on the iOS platform. So actually, the main thing with this device is that you can actually use it as your desktop. You can use it as your PC. It gives you the same kind of experience, and the kind of power that this has in terms of processing speeds and the RAM. It actually gives you that experience. You don't have to worry about a delay in processing, or taking up a lot of storage, because it also gives you the opportunity to actually expand your storage. So that way it becomes a complete PC. I will touch upon the PC part using the Samsung DeX later in the video. So Android versus iOS is a major thing, and I would say that this gives you a lot of customizability. There's only a few of the things. I'm sure there are many more which are there on the Android experience. The third point which I will talk about is the display resolution. Now, if you look at the iPhone uses an LCD screen, whereas this one uses the Super AMOLED screen, which is organic LED. So you cannot compare the two. The LED is far more superior in terms of the resolution, in terms of brightness, in terms of deeper blacks, because it can actually switch off the pixels where it's not required. Individual pixels can be switched off, which the LCD does not allow you to do it. So overall, the display is much better on the Note 8. Now, next point being the camera. Now, the camera is a very, I would say, personal choice. I have not found too much of a difference in the camera between these two phones. The only difference which I feel is, after taking the picture, the photographs look much better on the Super AMOLED screen on the Note 8 compared to the ones on the iPhone. The camera quality wise, more or less they are the same. Maybe this is slightly better on the Note 8, is slightly better, but I have not seen much of a difference between the two. But the photographs definitely look much better, and the videos also look much better on this. It's got optical image stabilization on both the lenses. That obviously will give you a better video even in low light, and even when you're using the telephoto lens, it will give you a better video. Now, if you look at the next point which I will talk about, which is the fifth point, will be the RAM. The Note 8 has got a 6 GB RAM, whereas only 3 GB RAM on the iPhone. So obviously that helps a lot in terms of doing multitasking and having a lot of apps running at the same time, as well as doing high intensity work on your Galaxy Note. Having said that, I would say that Android is still a very heavy OS, it takes a lot of resources compared to the iOS. So 6 GB RAM on this and 3 GB RAM on the iPhone, it's not too much of a difference, but yes, having a 3 GB RAM on the Note 8 will make it much slower. So to compete that, a 6 GB RAM actually helps a lot on the phone. Okay, so the next point, number 6, is about the Samsung Members app, which gives you a lot of support in terms of tips and tricks. It gives you benefits in terms of vouchers, discount vouchers. These keep updating. Then there's Samsung Community, where people ask questions and you can answer them. There are news and tips. There's diagnostics, which can check your phone and tell you if anything is wrong and what you can do to fix it. This is very, very neat and a small feature which is nice to have. The next one is link sharing. Link sharing is something which is unique to Samsung, wherein you can actually upload a file up to 2 GB onto the Samsung server and share the link of that with anybody using whatever means like WhatsApp, SMS, email, and they can have access to that file for a period of 1 day. So if you have a heavy file, a heavy video which you have just shot and you want to share it with somebody, it's a very neat way of doing that. So this is very unique, and it's a very nice product, feature to have on your phone, especially when you're shooting in 4K at all times. The next one is a private secure folder. This is again comes stocked with the phone. You can store all your images, your contacts, even your call logs, your photos, videos, everything into a private secure folder, which can be authenticated through face recognition, password, fingerprint, in any way you want. And it's a nice feature to have, if you have lots of things to hide. The next feature is which is specific to Samsung again, is the Samsung Pay. Samsung Pay is something which I've been using for the last 2 weeks quite actively. I registered my credit card and it works very, very nicely. There is no need for anybody to have Samsung Pay enabled on the credit card machine. You just go over to the counter, put your fingerprint, put the phone on the on the machine, and it's done. So this is actually way better than Apple Pay, because Apple Pay you need to have the thing activated on that particular device. You need to accept Apple Pay because it uses NFC, whereas in this it uses a magnetic link technology, through which you can use this on any phone, any credit card machine, even the older ones, which is really nice. And they also give you a lot of discounts and benefits by using Samsung Pay on and off in the UAE here. The next one I will talk about is the S Pen. I will run through this quickly. There's not much to talk about. S Pen is something which is very unique to the Note. It works perfectly fine. It's mainly used for drawing. It's used in editing photos, editing videos. It's very nice. It's a nice feature to have, and it works perfectly fine with the phone. I really like this feature, especially when your phone is locked and the stylus is inside. When you take out the stylus, it gives you this option of doing on-screen memo. So you can just write. It's a black background and it's writing in white. You can jot it down and you can keep writing whatever you want. You can go up to 100 pages according to Samsung. You can keep writing, and when you put this thing inside, it saves that into the Samsung Notes app. So and if you don't do anything, it'll stay on over here. It'll not go off. So it's a nice way to jot down things. It's a nice feature to have. The next one is the Edge panel. The Edge panel also is quite, you can use for a lot of productivity tools. Here I have the one that I use as assistive touch on the iPhone. So you have a lock, you have screen capture, you have back, home and recent. Then you have a calculator which you can use on the Edge panel. And there are recent calls. So you can obviously customize this by going into the settings and get a lot of new Edge panels. You can even download a few. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. You can actually customize your phone way more. The next one is which I will talk about, which I spoke about earlier also, that you use your phone as a desktop. You have this product called Samsung DeX. through which you can dock your phone onto the Samsung DeX device, and then that gets connected to your monitor, and it becomes a full-blown PC experience. You can run your apps in full screen. Most of the games also I think runs full screen, except for few which are not updated for the DeX software. But it gives you a proper, Samsung, you can say proper desktop experience, which is very nice. The next one I'll talk about, which is one of the last features specific to Samsung, is the ability to run dual apps. So some of the apps like Facebook, WhatsApp, Telegram, and some of the other social networking apps can be used, for two different identities on the same device. So you can have a WhatsApp. Like right now I'm running WhatsApp for two numbers of mine. So I can receive and send SMS messages for WhatsApp from both of them. This is very useful, especially if you're carrying 2 phones or 3 phones and you're using WhatsApp only on one of them and the other one you're using it as a phone. So you can have WhatsApp on both of the numbers on one device. So you don't have to carry 2 devices. So it's a very neat feature to have. It's very nice, and really I'm using it quite a bit. The next feature I will talk about, which is the 7th point, is the wireless charging and the fast charging. So Samsung phones have been having fast charging for the last 1 year or 1.5 years, from the S7 I think. It works perfectly fine. I really like the feature, and it says fast charging when you plug it in. That's really nice to see. It feels that yes, it's doing something good for you. Even the wireless charging which Samsung has, which this product has, is fast, whereas the iPhones do not come with with fast charge. Even the iPhone 8 Plus, which comes with fast charging, it's only possible if you buy a $70 upgraded MacBook charger and the USB-C to Lightning cable. So it doesn't come out of the box, whereas this one comes out of the box, wireless charging, fast charge, as well as fast charge with the USB-C cable, which is really nice. Okay, so the next feature I'll talk about, which is the 8th point, is some of the other features which this phone has, which is not available in any of the iPhones. The first one being the memory card expandable slot. Your phone comes with 64 GB of memory, and you can expand it up to 256 GB, which is a really nice feature to have. On the iPhone, you pay a premium of $150 to move from 64 GB to 256 GB, which is criminal according to me. Then you have a dual SIM option. If you don't want to put the expandable memory card, you can put 2 SIMs on this, which is again a nice feature to have if you're using 2 numbers on the same device. There's an iris and face scanner, which is really nice, which is not there on the 7 Plus and the 8 Plus. It's going to only come on the iPhone 10. Then you have a call recording feature, which is a third-party app which is available on the Google Play Store, which is not there on iPhone. So if you're talking to somebody and you want to record the conversation, you can do that seamlessly, and it works very fine. I've tried doing that. And also, there are some tweaks, and you can actually, if you have a YouTube video and you want to download that into an MP3, you can do that as well using the Android system. So there is an app which you can download, and you can go into the app and put the link, and it will download it as an MP3, and it will store onto your device. So which is a very nice feature to have, and you can listen to the song directly from there. So these are things which are very unique to Android and to Samsung, and I don't think Apple or iPhone will ever do these kind of features. Unless you actually use it and actually see the productivity and practical usability of that feature, you will never know that you want it. So that's what happened to me, and I've been using this phone for the last 2 weeks, and it's completely blown me away. Now, having said that, there are certain drawbacks to this phone as well compared to the iPhone. The Android system as such is quite heavy. It uses a lot of battery. This one has got a 3300 milliamp battery, but still it doesn't last me the whole day. I use it quite on and off, and I use it quite frequently during the day, and it drains by the afternoon or by evening, and then I have to charge it again. The Android system as such is quite heavy, and it uses a lot of power compared to iOS. iOS is far better in terms of the power management. The experience of the apps, I feel, is way better on iOS, mainly when it comes to Facebook and WhatsApp. The way the screen moves so, I would say, fluidly, so smoothly on the iOS, it's very, very nice. I really like it. WhatsApp experience also is way better on iOS compared to Android. The battery, as I told you, it's very, very even though it's a bigger battery. The iPhone has a 2900 milliamp, whereas this is a 3300 milliamp. But still, the Android being a very power hungry operating system, it takes a lot of power. The fingerprint scanner is on the back, which is a kind of feature that you'll take time to get used to it. But once you're used to it, it's fine. It works perfectly fine. You put the finger and it opens immediately. There is no problem as such. But yes, we will wait for the next year when they're going to integrate the fingerprint scanner onto the display itself. That's when we actually will be a very clever design if that comes true. But as of now, we have to make do with this. But I still feel that having a fingerprint scanner is way better than not having one, which the iPhone 10 is going to do, because facial recognition, you don't know whether it will work fine, we don't know how fast it will be, but having the fingerprint scanner is always good. The speakers on this device are extremely weak. There's only a mono speaker, only one at the bottom, and when you're typing or when you're chatting, when you're holding the phone like this, naturally your little finger actually blocks the speaker, so you're not able to hear anything. So that is kind of annoying. They should have better speakers. They should have had a dual speaker, but it's only a mono speaker and it's very weak. And the last thing which I will talk about as a drawback to having an Android phone, this applies to all Android phones, is the upgrade which comes every year to the Android system. With an Apple device, you get an upgrade immediately whenever a new operating system is launched. It's an immediate upgrade. There is no need to wait. Whereas for an Android, first Google release the update and then Samsung has to customize it and then release it to its users. And that also is released in a phased manner. So that is one of the problems that I will face with this device, being Android. But then having said that, these 4-5 points which I spoke about towards the end are very minor compared to the amount of features that we get, the amount of productivity tools that I get on this phone. I mean, there are far more features which I have not been able to talk about in this video. I'm sure there will be a ton of other features which this phone has, which will beat the iPhone hands down. So let me know in the comments what you feel about this video, what you feel, whether you will move from iOS to Android, from an iPhone to Samsung, or any other Android device. The Google Pixel 2 has been launched recently, and the LG V60 has been launched. So let me know in the comments below if you feel that you will want to move, or if you're an Android user already, then how your experience has been. Give the video a thumbs up, and also subscribe to my channel to know more about. I'll be doing more frequent videos like this. Subscribe to my channel, like the video, and have a nice day, guys. Thanks a lot. See you guys in the next one. Bye bye.